Welcome back, folks. My name is LastKnownMeal and happy 2022. I wish you all the best in this year. So this is going to be the first video of the year. I'm excited because I'm actually working on a bigger video, but it's coming out. I'm not ready to show it yet. But today I actually wanted to talk about these new Cyberpunk 2077 leaks, which have been everywhere for the past 2 days. Now, initially this post came from 4chan, so it must be 100% true, but it was actually posted on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, where it got a lot of attention. So far it has 2.7k likes, and of course once you have a post that popular on Reddit, it's going to spill over to Twitter and everywhere else, and people started asking me, look at what CDPR is doing, it's gonna be great. But we have to be realistic on this channel, sometimes a little bit more pessimistic, but that's just how things go. So today I will go through all of these leaks that we have and see if there is any logic whatsoever behind them, because do not believe leaks until they are actually, coming from CDPR. At the end of the day, they are working on the game, so they are the ones who decide if some of these things is going to be implemented or not, or has some of these things even planned to be implemented at the end of the day. So let's begin. Okay, Cyberpunk 2077 DLC, big patch, anime leaks and more. Let's see. So Cyberpunk next patch, patch 1.5, which is coming out in the first quarter of 2022, will be treated as a soft relaunch for the game. The game will be renamed Cyberpunk 2077 Samurai Edition. I kinda doubt this because, I don't know, like they could technically treat this as a soft relaunch, especially with the next gen version, but it doesn't look like it. Especially having the samurai version, something just doesn't feel right, because I don't think they are going to rename Cyberpunk 2077 and put the samurai edition next to it. Maybe later on when they start selling like the complete edition with all the expansions and DLCs, but for now, absolutely not. It's not logical. CDPR will do a big live stream around February to reveal the patch, the Cyberpunk anime and the first expansion. Now, the live stream, it's not something that CDPR hasn't done before. If you remember, they were actually doing live streams before Cyberpunk 2077 came out, and we were following those live streams. And I actually think that having this live stream where they're going to talk about everything which has happened and talk about the future, I think for the community it would be cool to have another live stream from CDPR. So far, one of the only things which would make sense is them having this live stream, and it says around February for the patch, so we'll see. New patch features barbershops, a garage, improved AI, a transmog system, a complete rebalancing of the loot system, new UI. So first off, barbershops. Now, I know that people want to change their hair. I want it too. It's one of the biggest, requested features. But not just that, we want to change our appearance. Being in the world of Cyberpunk, Biotechnica does biosculpting, so it's really easy to actually go there, pay eddies, and you're gonna be getting a new face or whatever you want. So from that perspective, I think having a Biotechnica lab is a lot more logical than having just a barbershop. But having just a barbershop itself would be cool, but I don't see them doing that. I'd rather see them doing a way where you just basically change your entire face and your body, in a sense of like opening up the character screen and doing it again from that Biotechnica shop. A garage, I doubt it. Improved AI, again, this is where problems come. Improving AI is not just like flicking a switch. It's not something you can do just like that. Sometimes rebalancing AI requires you to rebalance the entire game, which takes a lot of time. Now, obviously, they have been taking a lot of time with this. There has been a huge gap between the previous patch and this one, which is coming, but at the same time, I don't think that's enough time to change what and how AI is going to work in this game, especially for the time being. Transmog system, now this is something I would definitely want, especially, styled substance, whatever you want to look the part in the game. And honestly, sometimes, if you're going for the stats, you're not gonna be looking good. So at the same time, having a transmog system would be cool. A complete rebalancing of the loot system. Now, this is something which can be implemented and done, obviously. We shall see if it's done now. I don't know what they're going to rebalance here anyway. And a new UI, which I doubt is going to happen. The UI is probably going to stay as it is. The promised free DLC will be bundled in and includes 4 new weapons, new game plus, apartment customization, new gigs. Now, this is one of the things which could make sense. Like in a free DLC, you could of course have weapons, new game plus, apartment customization. It's a little bit something which I don't think is happening. New gigs, it's possible. Now, I'm going from like past DLCs for The Witcher 3. There was new missions, there were some new weapons and armor in there, so it's logical to have new weapons and maybe like something new from those free DLCs, maybe a new piece of armor besides the one that we got, etc, etc. But I don't think they're gonna be adding an apartment customization. I don't think that's happening. New gigs, well, that's kind of easy to do in the game, so you can have like a few new gigs around the map. That's kind of logical. New game plus, I would love it. I don't think it's coming out this soon, but we'll see. I could be proven wrong. But new game plus is something that would definitely benefit the game a lot, and I'm welcoming this. Hopefully it happens. Tons of small stuff like Judy and Panam sending you more text messages during the course of the game. There has to be a reason for sending messages, so I don't know. First expansion takes place in Pacifica, which is actually quite huge, so this is it. The first expansion is taking a place in Pacifica. Now, Pacifica is a really cool region. Obviously, it's been underutilized a little bit. Could you have a very interesting expansion in that, in Pacifica? Yes, especially because they said down here, you walk around and do quests in what is called a combat zone, and this is wrong. The entire region of Pacifica is one big combat zone, so Pacifica was already and is right now a combat zone. Now, the lack of immersion and logic in the game in Pacifica is a different thing. In Pacifica, if you do problems, if you kill people, you're not gonna have cops on you. It doesn't happen. But in the game, if you're in Pacifica, you shoot one civilian, you're gonna have a whole police force on you, which is never the case in Pacifica. Police does not go into a combat zone. That's hence the reason why it's called a combat zone. So it's already a combat zone in the game. You know, so the combat zone is being fought over by two new gangs, the Botos, violent clown psychopaths with a sick sense of humor, and a gang called Slaughterhouse, violent psychopaths. Okay, so in the Pacifica region, of course, you have Botos. Now, Botos are killer clowns. Now, they're very dangerous. We were actually sad that they were not present in the, the game itself, in the vanilla game. Sadly, we don't have them. Is it possible to have them in a DLC or an expansion? Yes, it would be cool to have them because they're random. Like, Botos are basically killer clowns, which they don't look like killer clowns. They are killer clowns. Their entire body sculpting is made them to look like a clown. Therefore, killer clowns. And they're a little bit crazy. Now, I don't know like what kind of quests you would have with them because they're generally crazy and they cannot be kind of negotiated with, but would it be a cool adventure and a cool quest to have on the side? Definitely yes. Now also, like, for example, there is Slaughterhouse, and Slaughterhouse is also a gang from the original lore and Cyberpunk 2020. Basically, the only logic which does make sense is that the Slaughterhouse comes from the North Side district. They're the booster gang in the North Side district. They don't really have any ties to Pacifica specifically, but at the same time, they like sharp things. So basically, they like to put rippers on themselves, different augmentations, different weapons. They have to be sharp. If those weapons are not sharp, they're not interested in them. So they're kind of crazy. And would they be cool to fight in the game? Definitely yes, especially because they're a little bit different from Maelstrom, because Maelstrom is a little bit more insane than Slaughterhouse. Next up, we have walking around the combat zone feels very inspired by the game Stalker. Okay, this doesn't make sense. Now I see that the person who actually wrote the leak, it's just wrong. It's not hitting the nail in the head of what Cyberpunk is and how they made that game to look, but it's not going to be Stalker. Cyberpunk will get its own Gwent-like mini-game. Here we go again. It involves going to cyberspace and controlling and collecting monsters, which you can send to JRPG-like battles. Also has multiplayer. Alright, this is going over the top. So first off, the discussion around the Gwent-like minigame in Cyberpunk has been around for quite some time. Even before the game came out, we were speculating on what is going to be the case with that game. Now, obviously, we haven't had one, and we don't know if CDPR is actually going to implement one. So when they say like cyberspace and, fighting these monsters and stuff, they mean about demons. So once you're in cyberspace, anything can be changed, anything can be altered, and anything can take shape. Like, you can have insane things in cyberspace because it's not real space. So daemons and hacks within cyberspace that you use to hack people can sometimes take the visual of a skull or a monster or something like that. Now, and no, it does not mean you are wielding monsters like Pokemon. And actually, this has been declined by CDPR for a very long time now. When we had this leak, even before the game came out, saying we were going to have these battles, when in a sense this is basically hacking one another. And then when like a daemon takes a visualization of a skull, it just doesn't attack, and that's about it. But that's not really, again, in that Pokemon kind of a sense, or a JRPG. No. No. One of the monsters looked like a Reaper, another one that I saw looks like an Oni. So again, having cyberspace battles and cyberspace hacks and going into cyberspace would be cool, because I genuinely think that cyberspace has been underutilized in the game, and it's such a big part of the universe. Would it be cool? Yes, but again, CDPR said long time ago they don't really have anything in plan to do like this kind of a fighting with monsters. So automatically this leak is absolutely like fake. And yeah, so the Cyberpunk anime called Edgerunners is made by Studio Trigger, with writing and story made by CDPRs themselves. It looks absolutely insane, beautiful 2D animation, reminds me of Akira. I mean, Edgerunners is alright. I'm actually really excited about it, but I don't think this person actually saw it. Like, this is where things kind of become blurry. If you saw like one thing, it doesn't mean you actually saw the whole thing. It doesn't mean you saw like the Edgerunners themselves. Another expansion is in early stages of planning, but will only be released the first expansion is a success. No, absolutely not. These things are planned even before release, so if CDPR has planned 2 expansions for the game, you're going to have 2 expansions for the games. Now, everything on top of those 2 expansions will obviously depend on the popularity, but they're not going to go into one direction and say like, okay, we're going to release a second expansion only if the first one is successful. This was never the case, and automatically, look, some of these things look nice, some of these things are nice to talk about, but at the same time, I don't think it's happening. Now listen, I don't want you to be disappointed with the patch when it comes out and doesn't have all of these things. To be honest, these sort of leaks are served to me on a daily basis. Before the game came out, after the game came out. There's a lot of people who are posting this because they want things that they want to have in the game. And I could of course post my own list on 4chan with the things I would like to see in the game, and who knows how that would be taken. Now, none of these people actually know what is going on until it's released, especially because last year we had the same leak saying, oh yeah, CDPR is planning a huge revamp for the game in 2021, it's gonna be great, and then in the end it turns out none of those things were actually true. So of course none of these things are probably going to be true as well. Now, I'm sure that CDPR wants to fix the game and enhance the game, but to what point? I don't think it's going to be to the point that people want. So it's important to stay, just don't hype yourself too much, don't think about it too much, and we'll see once it's announced and it actually comes out. But for now, honestly, no. And this leak does make any sense. I'm sorry to be the bearer of the bad news, but nah. Again, I wouldn't trust this leak at all. But you do you, and you believe in whatever you want to believe, and but later on, don't be disappointed if things don't turn out the way they did. While I was editing the video, people from CDPR have confirmed that this leak is actually false, so of course, as I said, do not trust the leaks because 99% of them are false. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to tell me down below what do you think about all of this, and don't forget to check us out on Twitter and Discord. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like and subscribe button, and huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. This is LKM signing out, and stay classy everyone. Bye bye.